Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Dylan Silver, and today on the show I have Theresa Sage in Phoenix, Arizona. She helps real estate agents and investors scale with AI-driven sales systems, streamlining the journey from lead to sale. Theresa, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dylan. I appreciate you. Glad to be here.
We're excited to have you. I always like to start off at the top of the show by asking folks how they got into the entrepreneurial space.
Ooh. Well, in regards to real estate, long time ago, I was working at a self-directed IRA custodian, and I started seeing deals be put together. I didn't even know you could have a self-directed IRA. And I was really lucky because I got to see all the deals being put together and all this, new exciting things. This was a long time ago. And so I had met at my time my husband, Eric, and he was door knocking. He said, one of my friends is doing foreclosures. And I said, oh, okay. So he started door knocking on the side, and he started getting deals for this guy. And it was kind of funny, Dylan, because at first the guy drives up in a Honda. Eric got him a few deals. And then the guy drives up in a Mercedes. And then I don't know, like E-Class, C-Class, whatever. And then a couple months later, after Eric got him a few more deals, he had this super fancy Mercedes, which was really interesting. So I said, hey, I know how to structure the deals with private money. Now that I know self-directed IRAs, you know how to get the deals. So we started door knocking and getting deals that way. And that was the beginning many years ago, 20 years ago, of this investing real estate experience.
So were you going and door knocking homes that were in some level of distress, financial or physical?
Yes. So we pulled up a foreclosure list, a pre-foreclosure list, and we were door knocking for pre-foreclosures and offering solutions to homeowners who were in that distressed situation, buying their house and working it out that way. And then over the course of many iterations of real estate, as you know, it just kind of changed into a lot of different markets and different strategies over the past 20 years. So it was good.
Door knocking foreclosures is tough. Give us some advice. I may be doing this here later today. Give us some 101 on door knocking foreclosures.
Well, I think one of the things that worked for us, okay, here's a secret tip, is we just took out a little sticky pad like this and said, hey, give me a call, and wrote down our phone number and stuck it on the door. And it was simple and I think the biggest thing is it's just having a conversation with people, right? Like they're in distress, they need help, you provide a solution, and may not be the first time or the second time, but eventually if they need help, they'll call you. And if they call you and you have that, you know, solution oriented conversation, then it works a lot better.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
I'm gonna co-opt the sticky note. I hope this sticky note process is not trademarked or something like this. I'm about to use this out here in Dallas. Very good idea. I've door knocked and it's very difficult. I have a lot of respect for people who've done it, and so I'm going to use this idea. But how did the business scale from initially door knocking for someone else to then you're doing it with your husband to then growing to a larger business entity where it sounds like you were doing deals maybe on your own or with partners? How did that come about?
Yeah, so we did a lot of deals that way, kind of one-on-one. And then as we decided to grow and scale, we started hiring people and getting more lists and a team and door knocking that way. And what was happening was that this was a long time ago. So back in like '07, '08, when the market crashed,
Yeah.
the equity deals were going away and nobody had any equity at the time. And so, Dylan, one of the things I think is really important, especially like right now, like markets are kind of weird right now, is we were trying to figure out a way how to help people, and short sales. Nobody knew what a short sale was at that time.
Yeah.
And we went to, it was kind of crazy. Went to a mastermind networking meeting, and one of the guys there was talking about, hey, have you heard of this short sale thing? He had this like pamphlet. It was like this stapled pamphlet like this. It was like how to do a short sale. There was nothing online. There was nothing like that. And we're like, huh, this is really interesting. So we took it and we're like, I think this will work. So we started a short sale company back in the day, and it was very profitable. We helped a lot of homeowners. But I think the biggest takeaway for people is, sometimes, people always talk about pivoting, right? You always have to
Yeah.
pivot. But I think the biggest thing is pivoting. We wanted a solution. So what was the solution? There was no equity. They were losing their houses. And so we found a solution. We were looking for a solution, and short sales were the solution at that time. And I think
You're
where a
speaking
lot of
my language, Teresa. I am getting a short sale certification for this exact reason. I said, well, what can I do?
right?
Because I just became a realtor because I was tired,
Yes.
like just became last month because I was tired of realtors. I'm a realtor myself, but I don't always have the greatest perspective or the best view because I know that as an investor and as a wholesaler, realtors really didn't view us favorably. And so I kind of had a if I can't beat them, join them mentality. So now I can go to people who are distressed. I can offer them a cash offer, which I was doing beforehand. I can do a listing agreement if they've got some equity in their home and if there's a way to delay the auction. And then once I get my short sale certification, I can go short sale. And then, of course, there's all these creative ways, which kind of you have to be a little bit careful of. You kind of need an attorney to review it if you're going to be a realtor and do it. But as an individual non-licensed investor, you kind of have more freedom. So now I'm like, okay, I've got all the tools in the toolkit. Now I just have to go execute.
I love it. I love it. Yes. And Dylan, you're so smart because, I'm starting to see a trend here, at least in Phoenix. There's becoming a lot more pre-foreclosures coming out. And so, yes, I think you're in the right place. And
It comes full circle, right?
full circle. And a lot of people who got stuck didn't didn't change. They didn't want to change.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think it's really important. I love that you're taking on that skill set. And I love the fact that you have multiple exit strategies for the homeowners. That's fantastic.
Yeah, there's really not a lot. I'm shocked. I'm like, I mean, I don't have this big operation. It's really me and buddies that are like informally just bouncing ideas off of each other. And I'm like, man, I really do feel like we can compete here because the other businesses that are coming in or other entities are offering them like one or two solutions. And it's not really from an advisory standpoint. And my goal, honestly, is I do feel like there's ways to actually help these people that are in distress, and I would love to do that for them in a way where it's not just like, here's a cash offer and that's it.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic, Dylan. Way to go. I think it's awesome.
Pivoting a bit here. So I see that you grew this business, right? But then now today you're helping real estate agents and investors scale and helping them with leads and getting those leads to close. So how did this business come about?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yes. So after the kind of short sell run, I would say, and we started another. I ran a team. So I've had I've been a real estate agent for a long time, and I ran a team, and we had agents under us, and the challenge was they needed leads. So I went. I don't know. I'm sure you've heard of Russell Brunson. I went completely, at the time, none of the real estate space was going to marketing events yet, right? It was very, very early. It was like right in the early stages. So I started following Russell pretty early because I have a marketing background. And I was like, how do we get leads? Like, I want leads, right?
Give me the
And so
leads.
we want leads. And so we grew this team. We had a lot of leads coming in. And um but they weren't converting. So then we needed sales training. So then we got sales training so that they can convert the leads. And the nice thing is too, Dylan, is we had that exit strategy is we could list your house or we could give you a cash offer at the time. And it worked out really well. So that iteration of that business was coming about. And then we bought from that particular section of time, we purchased a lot of real estate. So we have a lot of holdings here in the Valley, and then we had them across country and kind of took a little breather for a little while.
Yeah.
And when I was coming back into the space, I was like, I'd really like to do this differently. I know how to lead gen. I know how to get the leads. And so I was like, okay, what would I do differently? So back about 6 months ago, I hired a VA, and I'm like, okay, we'll just get a VA to answer phones. Perfect.
Sure.
They'll get the leads. I tried the outbound sales thing. It didn't really fit with my personality. And now there's a lot of different legislation and stuff going on, and it just
Yep.
didn't really resonate with me. So I hired this VA and spent the week training and got all excited about it. And she didn't show up. And I was like, okay, this sucks.
Yeah.
So I hired another VA and I was like, okay, we're going to go through the whole process and this is your training and this is, this is how we're going to do it. And you're going to take calls and yada, yada, yada. And this, we need appointments. And she was kind of crazy. So that didn't really work out. And so
Yeah.
I was like,
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
I really just would like an appointment setter. I'd love an appointment setter who actually like answers the phone, who responds, and I would love, like for me personally, I want a sweet, caring, kind of like, you call in, it's like all like, oh, it's like your mom. Hi, how's it going? You just feel taken care of, right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
so,
I want one of those too.
right? And so I created our AI receptionists, our appointment setters, and really went into like a deep dive into scripting and like how that would feel. And so when we do our marketing and we get these leads coming in, it's just this sweet voice, Dylan, how can I help you? How's it going? And the coolest thing is, we kind of all want that lifestyle, right? We pay a
We
lot of
do.
money for marketing, and we don't want to miss any of those leads coming in. So I was sitting at my daughter's banquet. She got an accolade for soccer. She was regional defender of the year. She's in high school. And
Okay.
I looked down, not that I'm supposed to be looking at my phone while she's up there getting her award, but I look at my phone and there's a call coming in. And my AI receptionist has a 5.5 minute conversation with Richard, who needed to sell his house. It was awesome, Dylan. I was like, oh, this is great. He felt heard. He got responded to right away. She was sweet. She was empathetic. She asked all the questions. Are you behind in your payments? Do you have a mortgage? How much do you owe? When do you feel like selling? He just went on and on and on and on and on and talked to my AI employee. And at that point, Dylan, I was like, this is awesome. And so I called him back the next day and I said, hey, Richard, we kind of went through the script, right? Hey, Richard, I know you talked to Anne. I called her Anne. I talked to Anne. You talked to Anne, kind of went through like da 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 da. So tell me more. Tell me more about what's going on. Just made him reiterate the whole conversation again to just get that, rapport back. And he was so excited to sell his house. I was like, great.
Let's do it.
So yeah, it was really, I think a couple things that were exciting was one, he called, late at night, so I didn't miss a lead. Two, he felt heard and validated. And three, response time was immediate. And so that was really, you know, customer service wise, he really appreciated that.
I'm always, I shouldn't say always, I say I'm increasingly pleasantly surprised that it feels like the cutting edge of AI is like in real estate. I do feel that way. I've seen
Hmm.
AI in lots of other places, but the use cases for it for the day-to-day public, I feel like it's being expanded in real estate more than in many other places. Sure, there's going to be lots of use cases for it in all over, but I've now spoken with so many people like yourself who are developing these innovative new ways, speed to lead, and you have a AI receptionist who's answering calls, at night. It's just so tremendously inspiring to see this, because how many other times are we able to kind of see a technology and it kind of gets taken over by folks who are degrees of separation removed from everybody else? But it's almost like we have the ability now to hop in as individual operators and take advantage of this and then customize it to our own way. It's awesome to see.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think one of the things that I was like, how do I use AI to enhance my business and actually like create more customer value as opposed to taking away? And so that was my goal when in regards to like creating all this.
And so you had this opportunity, you were using it to scale your business. At what point did you see that, hey, this is an opportunity, I'm going to bring it to other people and help them with their business as well?
So in a mastermind, talking to other investors, I was like, hey, I've got this AI and it's working really well. And we have lead generation coming in and deals coming in, and it's pretty cool. And they were like, can you do that for me? I was like, sure, absolutely. So I was thinking too, I was like, okay, well, because I've had a team, I've had a real estate team. Like at the end of the day, I want to help other people.
Yeah.
I got into this business, to grow my wealth, but also to help people and help other people. And so at the end of the day, I was like, oh, okay, that's really interesting. Well, how could I help real estate agents who necessarily aren't investors use this service? And so I was driving around my neighborhood, Dylan, and I was calling sign calls, right? And I'm calling a sign call and nobody answers. And I'm like, huh, that's interesting. Um, so I waited and waited. Nobody calls me back. So I'm like,
Yep.
okay. And then I drove around and I called another sign call. And I was like, it was like this just a minute, and they're like rustling the phone and they're like trying to connect to the other person, and just a minute, and let me take your name and number, and it's such a big mess, right? And then it was
Yeah.
like transferred over, and there again nobody answers the phone because everybody's so busy. So I was
Yeah.
like, huh. And then the third one, I'm like, okay, because I always pretend I'm the buyer, right? So I'm like driving and I pull up to this house and I'm like, oh, this is a beautiful house, and they had a QR code. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. So I'm like pretending I'm a buyer, and I'm like, I scan this QR code, and no offense to anybody who has QR codes, no offense. This is my experience. I'm acting like the buyer. I scan this QR code and it brings up all this information. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, but it was 3.3 million. And I'm like, ooh, my budget's 2.6. What am I going to do? Am I going to fill out the information?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to drive away. Right.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wow, this is what I'm thinking. And I'm an agent. This guy must be so busy. This just feels very cool that he probably wouldn't want a $2.6 million buyer because, he's in the 3.3s. This is me. Like, I was like, wait a minute. I felt like I was talking to myself. Right. I was like, oh, that's an interesting thought. I
Yeah. You
know. Right.
disqualified yourself. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And I was like just walking through the process. And I thought, wow, this is really interesting. So we had a listing and we had a phone number. And it was like, hey, how's it going? Are you calling on this listing at, whatever, Cali Chameleon? And it was like, yes. What would you like to know about the property? And it's a it's a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, has a pool. It's in this school district, no HOA. And the agent's having this conversation about this particular house. And Dylan, this is the coolest thing. So there's a couple things that are pretty cool. So if the person's like, ooh, I was looking for a 5 bedroom, no problem. Hey, what are you looking for? So the agent or the sign caller employee is prompted to ask what they do want. So you immediately get their phone number, you get their information, and you get what their qualifications are before they drive away, right?
Yeah. I don't know if you heard that. That was our rooster that we have on the ranch making an audible appearance in the show here.
I love it. So the rooster would
Yeah.
probably there you that would be part of the thing. And you can have roosters on this property. So that was pretty neat. But here's the other thing, Dylan. Let's just say you're sitting with a seller, right? You get a lead, you go meet with a seller. You're like, look, Dylan, I know you want to sell your house. And guess what? We're going to make sure no buyer gets left behind. We're going to have a sign in your yard with a phone number that gets answered 24/7 so that any out of state buyers do not get missed. We have our receptionist there answering to ensure that no buyer gets left behind. How do you feel about that?
I mean, that's a win-win. The buyer's happy, they get their questions answered, and then the agent involved is not missing any opportunities, talking about fumbling the phone, talking about missing it because, I've heard this said, once you become an agent, you lose your phone.
Yeah, right?
So, to avoid that experience for everybody, you're now getting 100% of the opportunities, and then you're being able to follow up with them. And I'm imagining you have a way where it's even can follow up without you having to do all the follow up yourself.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And for me personally, I always like to do the follow up just because I want to create that connection. And
Sure.
here's the other thing. One of the other agents, she's like, the problem is you put your cell number, right, Dylan? You put your cell number on the sign call. Guess who you get calling you all day long? Telemarketers.
Yeah, that's
So you're
true.
ready. You're like, okay, I'm going to answer my phone. Oh, yeah, no, I do not want, I do
Yeah,
not
you got
want
everybody hitting you
whatever.
up at that point.
Yes. So even if you are answering, it's such a waste of time and energy, right? You're like,
Yeah.
oh, by the time you get that third call, you're all frustrated from telemarketers because you don't like recognize the phone number. Then you're like, yeah, what do you want? They're like, oh, so that's the great
Teresa,
thing.
when do you think is the right time for someone, whether they're a new agent or a more experienced agent, when do you think is the right time for someone to take a look at integrating with a service, an AI service like the one that you have?
I think, well, personally, if you're interested in growing your business and providing customer service, there's different levels that at least we provide, like the sign calls and the conversions and the AI receptionist. That's one. And then we have kind of a second level where that if you're like, you know what, I'm all in, I'm going to grow my business, I want lead gen, then we offer a second component where we actually help you with the lead generation. And then the AI agents, then you don't have to answer your phone. You can vet them first, then call them back. So there's kind of two different ways of thinking about it in regards to
Terrific,
that.
terrific opportunity. I think, for myself, where I'm at, I'm a new agent, but I've done wholesale deals and I've worked with investors, and I'm thinking, like, while I'm hosting the podcast, I'm missing out on opportunities, right? So
Right.
I might not necessarily have, a big budget to do lots of lead gen, but I do need people who might be calling in, right, to do someone to pick up the phones while I'm on here. So I've even thought about it. I know the use cases just keep expanding and expanding. It's inspiring, and it's great to see folks like yourself, Teresa, who are bringing this to everybody, really. We are coming up on time here, though, Teresa. Where can folks go to get a hold of you?
Yes. So our company is called AI dot get Sarah with an H.com. GetSarah.com. And the reason why I named her Sarah was because I had a VA in the Philippines a few years ago, and she was so sweet. I loved her. Her name was Sarah, and she was so kind, and she took care of everything, and she was so organized. and I absolutely loved her. So I named Sarah after her because you just felt so supported and taken care of. So
An
loved it.
ode to Sarah in the Philippines. Well,
Yeah.
Theresa, thank you so much for coming on the show here today, and congrats on your success and to your continued success.
Thanks, Dylan. Appreciate you.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.